price actually goes weaker than usual. That's interesting. Well, I'll take it. Every little bit that makes it easier on this fine day. He's more than welcome, after all. So the other one still takes a bit of load. Like, hey, benefits on one side. And then on the other side it's like, nope. Shut up, phone. I have enough of you. And your nonsense for one fine day. Jesus Christ. Been a while since after I, relatively speaking, a really short day. I'm actually feeling bloody tired. That's not a good sign, I'd say. I think it's time that I actually have a vacation for once. Well, and when will this happen, you might wonder? We all wonder. We all wonder indeed. Now then, let's set everything up and then I will give you a bit of an introduction. A reintroduction, basically. Mwop. Mwop. Okay, we haven't seen this one in quite a while, actually. I don't even know how long. A few weeks at the very least. As such, as a relatively understandable position to not remember exactly what we were doing. Well, is there a fucking battery just lying around here? Chaos. That's where my coffee is supposed to be. Well, it is more trades time. Well, mostly because, honestly, I was originally thinking of playing some Elden Ring, but I tried and my mind can't keep up and my reflexes are even slower than usual, which kinda, yeah, makes that a really frustrating experience. And when I was going through my little, library of games, I was like, hey, I haven't played this one in a while. And we do need to make some progress at some point, because I do plan on finish this one. Then I'll probably take a longer break until I play the second one, because there's a lot of reading to do. And, well, I need to be in the right mood for that, to be fair. But, well, yeah. To give you the short and sweet version of what we have been doing, basically we have been chasing a kidnapped person for Professor Russell, most easily understandable. He's a bit of an expert when it comes to all things of the specialized technology of the Kingdom of Libel. And basically all of the, Zeppy nonsense. Duquan will be on the stream. Anno is reinstalling in the background. I'm assuming it will be up and running again. So, what, tomorrow? If that's okay for you? Tomorrow a good idea? Tomorrow is Wednesday. Yeah, no, tomorrow is actually a good idea. Should give me some time to recuperate, because I do want to have some focus for that. Not nearly easy as this. Well, I can offer you tomorrow or the day after. So Wednesday or Thursday. What's your pleasure, little papagak? And while he thinks about this most definitively, most deeply, we shall continue on our little... Where was I? Oh yeah, right. Kidnapped person. We're trying to find kidnapped person. We got a clue, went to a tower, got beaten up. Come on, it's just two options. You have tomorrow, which is Wednesday, if you're working off the same calendar as me, or the day after. Now what comes after Wednesday? Well, if I can even give it to you in German if you want. Between Mittwoch and Donnerstag. If that's more to your liking. Or Wednesday or Thursday. Or if this week is not good for you, we can put it on the weekend. Today after? Yeah, the day after today. That is tomorrow. Tomorrow. Wednesday. Not that difficult of concept, we have 7 days a week. I'm talking about the third day of the week. Counting from Monday. Should be, doable. We can do it the other way around too. If I would have been doing nearly as much exercise as little Estelle does here, just on, click of a button, I probably wouldn't even feel so bloody freaking sick. What was that saying? A decent amount, a small amount of exercise each day is going a long way to keep you fit and happy. But yeah, after we have traveled to this nice... I think tomorrow is a bit of an strange way of saying it, but I'm assuming you mean either the following day or the day after. Yes, those are your two options, basically. See? Two nice options. Or the weekend, the next weekend, if that is better for you. But then the problem is it's not gonna be at the same time, because on the weekend I kinda vary things a bit. Just give me one. I'm going to put it down then. Tomorrow, okay. And I will do it tomorrow. At the usual time, so I'll be around now, or maybe now, 10 to 20 minutes later. But around this time, basically. Just keep an eye out, basically. I'll come along, and then we can play some. Sounds like a plan, doesn't it? Okay, bye. Now we can focus, now that I have done all of the planning. Oh yeah. Went to tower, good. The plan, it didn't work, because little teacher got in the way. That's a harsh way of saying it. She tried her best, but she failed. It's still sounding harsh, but it's the truth. And, one of our little companions, little Agathe, got a bit damaged and poisoned, and we went around and got some, well, ingredients for an antidote for him, and, well, that's basically where we left off quite a while ago, so now we're back in doing the usual. So we're gonna take a round through this nice little town, because this game has a nice background music. This actually soothes my soul quite nicely. Talking to people, and then we'll go and see where it goes, basically. Sure hope the professor's okay. Well, hoping so. We just set up the new maintenance technique I thought of after the orbital shutdown. We're calling it rebooting. Of course, we need to get the capella back before we can really ascertain its effectiveness. Brisigal is doing their part too. Things might be looking up, don't you think? I will make a bold statement here that your new fine technique of rebooting will become the new standard. Quite literally. It is rather nice to be back though. Nice and relaxing. Hello. Nice to how's Agatha doing? He's asleep. I think he'll be alright. How are you guys doing? We're investigating. Of course we are. Just leave it to us while you keep an eye on Agatha. Okay. Be careful, sir. I'm sure she will be as careful as usual. See, Agatha still down, Cheetah still going. We'll just stay here to watch Agatha for a while. Pretty fitting statement. Which is pretty much what she does. Which means she's keeping your equipment hostage, which is not so nice, but manners. Thank you for your stay. With your help, you saved him. He spoke up, but he's definitely past the worst. He's no longer unconscious, just in a deep sleep. It won't be long before he wakes up, I'm sure. Well, let's hope so. He doesn't decide. He's been trying to sell. Not when it comes to the most medical things, but I'm sure she is helping in her own little way. That Ray, he's unbelievable. I have to admit he's getting a lot of positive reviews on his research project. I need to step it up on my sneaker project like this. Oh yeah, right, he was doing with tomatoes, wasn't he? There we go. I just finished with this term's thesis. When you hear the title, it's called Yeseric Tomato, an analysis of greenhouse horticulture and its impact on nutritional balance and food. Just rolls right off the tongue, doesn't it? Yeah, if by that you mean it's giving me a cramp in my mouth, yeah. But making this step up, even amazed myself. I just finished with this term's thesis. I don't want to hear the title again, and I'm not gonna read the title again. Never ever. It's cancer. I'm sorry. You know, I worked today a very short time, comparatively speaking. I think if I count all of the time, you know, with actually setting things up, opening again, closing again, it was roughly maybe 4 hours. I'm feeling as tired as if I had a fucking 12-hour day. That ain't a good sign. No, good morning. Started putting together my next thesis yesterday. It's going to be about the need for pursuing a user-accessible design philosophy. At this stage, there are a lot of rage points, and even I don't grasp all the specifics. I think as engineers that's an important challenge. It is. Sadly, that quite often leads to over-engineering. Take Windows, for example, which is a very nice example actually. Now, I'm not much of an expert because I've never delved too deep when it comes to specific things, but even I played around with the settings a bit in my day, mostly out of curiosity, and even I can tell that the further along you go, you know, chronologically speaking, from Windows, what's the first one I dealt with? I think the first system I dealt with was Windows 95. That's the one I have at least some decent memories of. All the way to Windows 10 now, and it does feel like they have, you know, cut things out or made it more difficult to access certain things and functions under the idea of making it more user-friendly, because, well, what's the average user has need for certain system settings for now? Well, generally speaking, not all that much maybe, but still. Just cutting shit out or making it harder to access is just a pain in the ass, honestly. I can see where people in some cases prefer the Linux variants. Tried that out once or twice, never really stuck with me. I'm finishing the initial paperwork for my next thesis. It's going to be about the need for... yeah, you said this already. Basically the point is, you know, keeping user accessibility in mind for your project is a good idea, but if you let this go to its natural extreme, which people tend to do, given half a chance, you will end up with something less than ideal. Always something to keep in mind with your products. Good morning. Got anything yet? Not yet. We're off to the guild to see what kind of information we can gather now. Kita's not with you? She went to the clinic to check up on Nagata. She's very worried about him. I see. Please bring back Professor Russell safely, but Kita's sick. We will, I promise. We'll do our absolute best. Now, if you'll excuse us, we'll be waiting for news. He's not even saying good news. I mean, it's understandable in this situation, but come on. Give me some confidence here. Good morning. He's hoping for at least one quiet day, right? Oh. What, you don't like all of your little factory getting all smoked? What a strange person. Good morning, everyone. I believe Tita's in the clinic on the 4th floor. And she was very anxious to see if Agatha was alright. I mean, she is actually. You know, once my sisters get a little bigger, I'm getting out of this place. I'm going to get into the central factory, start at the bottom, and learn to build airships. I got to help my mom out for the time being, though. I'm getting pretty swamped, having to take care of 4 little baby sisters. Jesus Christ, yeah, I can imagine. That would be one hell of a pain. I mean, one child is. Ooh, oh boy. Having 4, you know. That sounds like I would shoot myself in the face. Good morning, welcome to maintenance. We're ready to do our best. Let's see then. I'm pretty sure, since I haven't played in a while, I could readjust my note, but I do like to think and look at things, you know, in-game, because, well, you write notes, that doesn't mean they're perfect. You can make mistakes. Yeah, I only have 3 because one is on Tita and she has left the party. Same with this one actually, isn't it? I mean, I can always just make another one, just, you know, to satisfy my curiosity. You know what? Oh, please, I'm gonna do it. It's a waste, but I can always farm more, honestly. Honestly, this game has not really that much farming anyway, so it's actually not that bad. Some of vendors are a lot worse. That's where I saw another 3. Yeah, but only on this one. I came to pick up some mobile cameras. My son actually helped me with it. Let's come over. I mean, you know, maybe he has a good moment. It's that woman that travels a lot. All over the country. I think we have already seen her all the way back at the start. First village. Good morning. Ain't nothing like one of the energy drinks first thing in the morning. That's gonna kill you, you know? Good morning! Don't my flowers smell nice? I mean, I don't know, maybe do they? Sadly, this is not part of the software yet. I'm sure some people will come up with something like this. As Cecilia is on schedule. I have to read the news. That's a job. He's like, okay, first things first, let me set up. Let's take the timetable. It's on schedule. Yes, according to my clock it is. Time to lie back and read the fucking newspaper. Oh, that's unsure. A gay French cat, but, you know, since it's a cat, it's okay. They can have gay names, they can still be cool. Okay, we're ready for landing. May as well check the cargo. This morning I meet with a republication ornament merchant named LoH. Dodge? I mean, quite literally, he's called Dodge. Has to see the landing pad, and now I've been roped into showing him around. Well, there, Dodge. It's the port for raw materials and the construction base just down. Ship engineering has really advanced. I imagine it won't be long before we've got ships going out to even LoH's hometown. I mean, it doesn't... Let's imagine that you have some hometown outside in the boonies, basically. How the fuck are you going to get an airship of this size to, you know, have enough space to land, basically? You need a freaking airport for that. I mean, maybe if he's coming from, you know... the, one of the bigger towns, maybe. I'm thinking of names of Republican towns, but I really don't remember. Now, honestly, I'm drawing a complete blank right now. Probably because we haven't really interacted much with the Republic in this series. We mostly focused on the, Libel here. And Cold Steel, basically, at least the first two play pretty much exclusively in the Empire. So there's that. Can't think of the words to describe this place. It's just incredible. One day I'd like to deal in the airship business, but Mountain would need to build a landing port first. Ah, see, it's the same idea. Oh, no, the same problem actually. Now then, as usual, we're gonna take a trip through the mines. Actually, I actually have prepared a list for this? I have. I'm smart. Which tells me that at this point the other side is not accessible, because I did a trial run and I actually made a list that's like, okay, you can't go there, that's empty, that's empty, that's empty. My, I'm a smart little one, aren't I? Of course, this list is completely useless as soon as we move on, because after that, things change, of course. Oh, hello. Did the medicine work out? Yes, for the most part. According to Dr. Miriam at the central factory, Nagata is past the worst of it. I see, and it's a relief. Yes, you ought to be fine. This is Nagata we're talking about, after all. Indeed. He's tough enough to give even Zen a run for his money. But father, I'm really sorry for bothering you so late. Making you stay up like that, putting the serum together. My dear, anyone who saw little Tita's face would have done exactly the same thing. Seeing that shy little girl with such a wild look about her would spur anyone to action. I'll be praying for Gata's full and speedy recovery. Thank you. We deeply appreciate it. You're welcome here whenever you wish to visit. Actually, it's something I just remembered while this conversation happens. You see how there's a lot of, you know, thanks going on. It's actually something very interesting in many languages. Well, the English one is actually, well, nice prime example of it, is generally speaking rather polite. As one, you know, who works at a job, you know. The most basic situation is basically like telling somebody like it's, you know, €1 and 40 cents, please, thanks, and the other person is like, yeah, thanks. Just like, you know, it's actually something that in German, for example, is not really the case. German is a lot more, if you speak it normally, direct, I suppose. It's a lot less polite in general. We can be very polite, we do have the words for it, and the proper forms of it too. The formal form for it, but but not as common in technically the normal sort of conversation you would have. Even in the business sense, it's not that common to be that polite. Interesting little fact. I talked about it with a colleague actually recently. I hadn't spoken in a while, and she runs his business out of good old Great Britain. Usually when we have a call or something, you can feel the difference, because I'm still, at my heart, very, very German about it. And she's like, wow, I had forgot, but you're quite rude, aren't you? I'm not actually trying to fit, but you know, it slips when you talk with friends sometimes. Times like last night, I feel that Father Vixen's opinion is perfectly valid. If we show generosity to others, they will surely show generosity in return. Treating the church as an apothecary is not a proper show of respect. Oops. I mean, you know, it was a certain situation, what can I say? Happens to the best of us. But yeah, Otto, let me say this one more time just in case you missed the implications. I'm actually not completely at the top of my game at the moment. Carl came by early this morning. His eyes were all bloodshot. I don't know if he got any sleep last night. Seeing how focused he is on his job is so inspiring. I want to be scientist when I get older. Because I probably won't be able to focus on just one research project at a time. Well, that gave me a +2. I don't know why, but Carl came to see me this morning. Said he came to tell me he finally understood my policy about weapon dependability. Probably had to take the point of view of the user during some research. Change his own point of view. I think Carl's finally starting to understand the power of dependability in a weapon. Probably had to take the point of view of the user during research. Or Welker notices it too. Yeah, no shit. The more I talk to this guy, honestly, the more I'm at the point where it's like obvious. Yet the ones who attacked the central factory were members of the Royal Guard. My Vince said he saw soldiers in blue uniforms. Couldn't believe it. My Vince doesn't want to tell lies. Yeah, but that sounds like the Royal Guard is getting set up majorly, isn't it? Let me put it like this. If the Royal Guard wanted the professor, I could quite literally just, you know, marching in outright with a freaking royal decree and go like, hey, you fucker, come with us now, or we're gonna get really nasty with ya. But the incident, when little Muriel suddenly decided she'd like to work at the factory. Can you believe it? And if she really wants to work there, speak with her grandfather about it. I don't really think it'd do very much good. I think my mom might be wrong. I want to be a receptionist in the central factory. I should be able to get a position easily enough. Hazel's getting old. Oh, the burn. You tell that to the poor little woman's face and you'll see what happens. They do say that they age much fury like a woman scorned. Now imagine telling a woman she's old to her face. Yeah, that's the sort of fury you don't want to expect. Only this morning, Carl came to the stone site. I get what Stain means now and left. What happened? Great engineer Carl. Seems like Stein's indoctrinated him at last. That's a nasty way of saying it. But yes, dependability seems to be, you know, all the freaking rage. If it works, it just works. That's how it's supposed to be. Right, starting today it will be positive. Positive, curse you all. Today I'm finishing the order for Elkin's weapon box. He's trying his best, what can I say? It's like I just got home, and now I'm off to the whole fort. Can't even catch my breath enough to complain. Oh well. Probably a bit early, but I'd better go place a request for guards at the Bracer Guild. Yeah, you should probably do this a few days before you travel, actually. If you want to be absolutely sure. Oh, what a talk of new recipes and hard work. With a straight face the whole time. That pen really had me going there for a minute. I do love this game though. It's nice. Been so busy lately. In addition to my regular work, I've also been tinkering with some new dishes. Keep this up, I'm sure to burn out sometime soon. The working test Joes need to watch out for each other, eh? Yes, you need to pace yourself. Be careful. That advice actually hurts a lot. It's cutting deep right now because I'm actually not following it very well. Yesterday I made this new soup I just learned about and had Louise eat some. She's been so busy lately she hasn't had time to eat. At least her sister, Uriel, seems to enjoy it though. Being dedicated to your job is good and all, but everyone needs a break sometime. All work and no play. Makes me worry about turning into Ben one day. Dissing Ben, casually. There might come a time when things have actually calmed down a bit, to the point where I actually can take a fucking breather for once, when I will actually maybe make you know, nice little explanation of all the nonsense that's been going on. My sister was worrying about her job last night. Oh. She seemed to figure something out when she was drinking the soup. Maybe there's something in it that jocks you, right? I don't know. I wonder if there's something in the soup that helps my brain work better. And ask Sister Kira. But yeah. I mean, right now, you know, I have, to be fair, 2 of those situations I'm dealing with are my own fault. That is my work schedule, which I basically am responsible for myself, obviously. And the other is my final examination coming up, which is also, to be fair, something I choose myself, so that's not something I can complain about. But I did kinda cut it a bit too thick to chew, probably, didn't I? And I was quite well aware that I was actually doing this at the rate where it was like, not anything more please, because that would probably break. And lo and behold, some asshole comes along. Actually, about this particular one, once this situation is somewhat cleared up, I will probably actually, I don't know. I'm not really a fan of making videos, as I have said multiple times, and I like the idea of doing things live a lot more. Also gives me the option to interact with things. Really talk to her about that too. Why does Emma insist on speaking so loudly to the customers? Well, she just started and is anxious to make a good first impression. She gave all the customers heart attacks. Even though I'm from Zeiss myself. Why is she shouting the greeting at the customers? I want to give them heart attacks. She's trying her best, does she? They told me that I was overdoing things. I did just start working it though. Of course I'm going to give it my all. I want to be a cleaning avenger. Told me I was overdoing things. Yeah, cleaning avenger. Because you know, I don't really appreciate it very much when some asshole tries to drag me forward for something I actually did not participate in. And from what I have gathered so far through, you know, the usual grapevines of rumors and stuff, there seems to be some speculation going around that things are maybe not nearly as legal as the offending side makes it sound. Bit of a problem, but Germans have a tendency to follow authority. So when one of our authorities, the jurisdictional authority in this particular case, in some form of fashion rights to you, you kind of have a tendency to just first and foremost believe and follow. But we will see how this goes. Then I will make a nice little video about it. Well, oh, I will probably make a live stream about it, talk about it while drinking and cursing outly. Which will be a very special thing, because I usually don't do something like this, and honestly I don't really want to drag it out, but the situation is actually annoying enough that I'm on the path to it. Okay. Message received. Dr. Knowles. Activate all engines. Commence apple shrinkage. Beep. Weep. Chink. Snap the. You have to put merchandise customers have moved back to their original place. I think it's time to get my brother working. Yeah, I want to teach him about all the facets of item display. That's really your thing, isn't it? Okay, let's avoid the guild because that continues the story, if memory serves. Keep shopping for canned goods today. It's so much easier than bread. I mean, what's in the can is right on the label, right? That's it. Well, check out the information bother you. Consumers demand all kinds of important information. Don't remind me. There actually is law, paragraphs here in Germany. What sort of information has to be displayed. For example, you have to give them the price of the item, but let's say the item is like 200 grams of something, 200 grams of bread. And you also need to put on the price for a kilo, so that the customer has an easier time comparing it to others. For example, if you have 3 breads and they all come in 200 grams packages, then they all will have different prices, and you have to give them actually how much would that cost as a kilo each. Why you need that to compare? Why can't you just do the math in your head? I don't know, but it's just... that's law. You also need to put actually the price and all of the information to the project, to the product. Good morning. I'm having a great day so far. Finally, my wife seems to be getting what I'm doing. Told me that they don't need to expand our product line any more than we have. Running your own business can be tough. Oh, brother, I'll sign that one. Finding ways to economize is top priority. Not being forced to expand will go a long way for both my wallet and my customers. My wife finally understands. And told me I didn't have to expand the product line. I finally get it. That alone is a huge motivator. It can be hard to get such concepts along because people think they have a good idea, like, okay, let's expand the product line even more so that we get more customers. But that's not nearly as easy. You have to think a bit more about things. But I don't talk with my husband this morning about the direction of the store. We decided not to expand our line of merchandise anymore. I'm to be in charge of product ordering and stock. Now how it'll go, without trying. That's an important part, honestly. The ideal amount to order. It's a terminology that there's a lot of formula about it, but it's practically impossible. You will never get an ideal amount. You will always have a bit over or a bit under. Now, under is bad because, well, of course, if I don't have merchandise, I can't sell. Having too much, though, means I have, well, basically bound money sitting around doing shit all. According to old law, that's debt capital, because, well, it's money that doesn't make money. Not that that is actually applicable anymore, because the bank doesn't actually pay any sort of money for having money. Pain in the ass. Thank you for making the time to help us, Igor. Right, it's no trouble at all. An old obsolete engineer like me has plenty of time. Obsolete, he says. Ibs built the SA, the greatest machine to ever fly, and he's obsolete. Okay, I'm just old. A small part in the SA's construction wore me out. Couldn't keep up with Russell. Got to serve as best as I can, even at my age. Well, let's get this started. Yes, let's. Fixing the clock so it's running again, eh? Okay. You're not just gonna let me go out, eh? I kinda figured as much. Same here. Is there anywhere else, according to my little list? No. The Caldia tunnel is empty. The checkpoint is not accessible. Wolford is not accessible. That's it. Okay. So probably the only thing we need to do is go into the general store, buy ourselves probably a new newspaper because it's a new day. Am I good or am I good? I almost assume that I played this game already. Now it's been a while since I showed you this nice little trick of making money, but I'm sure you remember. Also, honestly, that's actually one of the nicer options here. But since it is an option, let me remind you, if you actually want to rewatch an episode because you might have missed one or something, or like this where it's been a while and you're unsure of your memory, you can go to the YouTube side of things because there are actually all of the little videos, nice playlists for your viewing pleasure. That's kind of lacking, I think, the impact of live. A bit at least, but it's the next best thing. Morning, Kika. Hey, good morning. Well, let's see what you have for us. And to you, Tooth. Has Zin already left? Yes, he took an airliner to Gransel some time ago. Wish you could have come to see him off. Speaking of which, you two know each other somehow? A bit, quite some time ago. That's beside the point. Have you noticed the strange current in the air? The winds are shifting. No changing the subject. Wait, we are talking about the weather, aren't we? We learned something about the airship. Not a thing, but I believe this quietening atmosphere is related to the Royal Army mobilizing. One thing, I have sent a message to the army headquarters at Leiston Fortress, but there's been no response. Secondly, all the mandatory inspections throughout the kingdom have been lifted. What's that all about? About turf war, like with the sky pennant, is it? No, it would be strange for them to call off inspections if that were the case. If they had caught the culprits themselves, surely they would have sent word around. Maybe there is something in the air. Incidentally, I've not been able to contact the intelligence division at Leiston Fortress either. It's possible that the royal army has some sort of internal issue going on. Some sort. No, wait. The stuff that Dorothy shot. Any picture of those guys in black wearing the Royal Guard uniforms. Do you mind mentioning my name? Dorothy. Speak of the devil? And yeah, really. Indeed. I was about to say, you summoned the devil. Wow, what an ordeal. I finally got in touch with my editor's office, and I'll happen to be there. Told him about giving up my photo quads to the army, he just about blew his stack. It's so unfair. Means they haven't given it back yet. Right. I mean, how rude is that? And after I've gone through the trouble of going to Lacen Fortress to get it back too. Well, I've got some fire to you. Well, I guess I have to have one agreement, right? Anyway, I didn't have any other options but to just take a picture of the fort for the paper. Does make for a great shot though. Lights up all pretty at night. You took a pretty picture of the fort. Not to mention, you're supposed to obtain permission to photograph any part of a military installation. Come on, it's not like it's that big a deal. Here, take a look. I just developed it. Mercy placed the photo on the counter. Oh. Nice view. Nice view indeed. Now, who sees the elephant in the room? Raise your hand, shake it mightily. Yes, you, and you. I see everybody sees that nice little floaty thing. About 3:20 from the moon. Quite useful to actually use a clock for this. Sometimes the military comes up with nice ideas. And because, you know, everybody knows how freaking clock works. Actually, no, we are kind of getting into an age where analog clocks are not really that much around anymore. So there actually could be some people growing up who only really knew digital clocks would be like, what the fuck is 3:20 supposed to mean? In a directional sense. Can you imagine this? Maybe I actually will. Geez, I mean, if I live long enough for that, in 30-40 years times, you know, nobody will not remember what a freaking analog clock is with actually, you know, an hour and in a minute, and the people will be like, what are you talking about? And the kids still like, you whippersnappers. Hey, it is a pretty nice shot. This is Lacen Fortress. Don't tell me you don't remember, we were there already. No, Dorothy, you've really got a good eye for this. Wait a sec. What's wrong, Estelle? Maybe just my imagination, but do you see anything there on the top right? Well, you're right. Not very clear, but there's definitely a small shadow there. You've got a sharp eye, Estelle. I mean, I took the picture and I didn't notice that at all. Well, what can I say? Smart face. Well, it's just a silhouette. Maybe it's an army ship. That's not that ship. It's that small airship from before. Well, it's the same silhouette as the ship that the professor was taken away in. Right. Wait, what? Hold on just a second. Why would that ship be anywhere near here? This is a Royal Army installation, isn't it? Calm down, Estelle. There are plenty of possibilities to consider before we go jumping to conclusions. Maybe you should go straight to Lacen Fortress and ask what this is about. What? I see. You intend to put it to them directly. Provoke a response, perhaps. I think that would be a bad idea. Not at all. You have my authorization. There's the potential to be a huge disaster. Whatever might be going on there, this matter must be handled delicately. You're starting to scare me, Kilika. But you're probably right. You have to handle this very carefully. Hey, Dorothy, can we have a copy of this picture? Sure. Well, you guys have done a lot for me. Thanks. Hi, everyone. Received Dorothy's photograph. If you intend to go to Lacen Fortress, you'll need to leave via the east entrance and take the Ritter roadway. You reach the three-way fork in the road, stay on the northern fork and you'll eventually wind up in front of the fort's main gate. Please use the utmost caution. Roger that. Acknowledged. Dully noted. And of course another quest for that. Stay there, let me know if you find out anything, okay? It says Scoop written all over it. It has. Oh boy. The road to Lacen Fortress starts from the east exit. It splits into three at one point, and it does take the north road. Keep your eyes open. Nothing to report. Now we should be able to leave the city. Gandalf. You're back from the capital? Yeah, I got the news. Flew back quick as I could. Got the runner from Kilika. Is Sakata okay? He seems past the words of it. Wait a second, are you one of Agata's friends? Yeah, we've run into each other a few times out on the field. He's kind of made a name for himself by doing the stuff that's patently insane. But doesn't kill him, only makes him stronger, right? You guys and Agata are okay to handle the rest of this assignment, right? I should be able to help out a little bit with some of the smaller details if you want. Thanks, Gundolf. That'd be great of you. Thank you again, Gundolf. No problem, I'm counting on you too. Yet to see Wong working so hard in my absence. I thought he was going to get down on himself because of the incident. Guess Kilika knocked that nonsense out of him though. Yeah, Wong has been doing a pretty good job actually. Keeping things afloat, I mean we are around, so genau. All in a certain amount of moderation. Oh really? I swear. You're sure. Don't you understand that I did this on purpose? I wanted to go out. Go some more. Now let's take a look here. Yep, nothing new. Which means we can go into a quest, I suppose. Ah shit, we have to do the boss mob fight with just 2 people, eh? This be a pain. Also, I don't have my my special quartz that shit allows me to actually see shit. The good thing is, we're pretty damn tough little cookies. See? Well, if you want to be an asshole about it, little one. Do you still have everything? Yeah. Still have you equipped with my basic set. It's what I like to call the basic bitch set. As long as you have Shadow Spear, which does have an instant kill effect, mind you. You are pretty damn well. Now then, there are a few places you can reach through the eastern part, if memory serves. Yeah. Or you can reach nowhere because, well, creature sits in your way. Estelle, do me a favor and shield. Probably would have been better to just do it, you know. Exterminate. It's actually probably not a bad idea to go all out here. Big fang. Bam. Yep. Nice and cleaned out. Let's see how. Oh, nice move. Not as nice as my water magic though. I miss the soundtrack. It's great. Nice and pleasant. Okay, let's just report this back immediately so we have it out over here. Because I do have a tendency to forget sometimes. And, you know. While I'm not going for 100% completionist, I do try to showcase how you're supposed to be doing it if that were your goal. Yes, we finished our job. We are good at what we're doing. I think we're actually getting relatively close to the end of the Zeiss area. And I do dread that a bit, because I do remember the next area. Or rather... I remember how many NPCs are in the next area. That's gonna be a challenge. Let's first go to Sometime Gate, shall we? Basically the last area we can talk to people. button. This should totally be reverted, because this is strange, control-wise. Meh, I'll take it. Yeah, inspection's over. I wonder what happened. No, it's not like they need to give us a reason. Just that we don't have to do it anymore. It was dull. Wonder if they've caught those terrorists yet. Imagine they'd announce it. No use worrying about it. Ah, typical soldier. When we still haven't caught the terrorists yet. We cancel inspections? I don't get it. Soldiers should need to understand their orders. Only carry them out. It's all for the good of the kingdom. Your chief was just as surprised as us when we were ordered to cancel inspections. Thought it was a mistake. And I see where you're coming from. I think it's a mistake, but they will have their reasoning, I suppose. We stopped him so suddenly. We haven't caught anyone yet. What was the point? Sometimes wonder why we do inspections at all. Suspension of inspections. It's dived out of my commands. My job is to follow orders, not to question or judge them. In order to continue patrol activity, for safety. Your High Command received some information that made the inspection irrelevant. I don't expect you to accept this explanation, but I do expect you to listen to it. We're a civil organization, we don't need to give a shit about it. I'm glad inspection's over. You have private jewels still, all tall and straight. Yeah. It's just something about men at work. Men at work? Good bad. You're so much manlier than those inspection soldiers. It wouldn't surprise me if Jules or Hector got promoted to the Royal Guardsman. If Jules is in that tight Royal Guardsman uniform. Sweet honeybee of infinity. I'm getting a bit wet there, aren't ya? Just imagining it. They've stopped inspections. Let's say already catch those criminals, I wonder. I don't remember seeing anything about it in the liberal news. Yeah, makes you question things, doesn't it? Thank goodness, everything finally seems back to normal. Still, won't stopping inspections so soon have an effect on the investigation? Certainly not privy to the military's thinking, but does worry me a little. I get where you're coming from. Welcome, have a seat. You sure stopped those inspections quick enough? Doesn't bother me either way, but I hoped none hurt the investigation any. I ain't heard that they caught them terrorists yet. I don't have the right to be stopping the inspections. Well, let's just hope that they know what they're doing. I don't know why, but all the inspections have stopped. Sounds like the chief hasn't been told the entire story yet himself. Oh, they won't tell me. Seems strange to me, but I'm sure the military has a perfectly good reason. You can only hope so. And that's not always the case, mind you. The military does not necessarily always have good reasons for what they're doing. Sometimes it's more... just decorum. Nice that I got through gate inspection so quick. It's smooth failing now. I'm in, just like I planned. Thank goodness I got into the capital like I planned. A place to go with my girlfriend after all. Glad I got in alright. Those photos in inspection were a bit nerve-wracking. But Aman was so sweet. Looks like we got back in time for the Queen's birthday. Wait. What? I'm really red now. Take a question somewhere else. I don't understand why we're suspending visitor inspection. But orders are orders. Yeah, High Command probably they think they know something, I would assume. Either that or some part of the military is working on a very, very different timetable than anybody else. And actually has the influence to do it. I mean, if the Royal Guard were to advise stopping it, I suppose that would be an option. But some more not so good applications on them. But then again, do we really want to believe the Royal Guard to be corrupt? Last night I saw an airship I've never seen before, flying in the western sky. I thought it might have had something to do with the incident, so I reported it. Inspections are over, so we probably won't be doing any more terrorist investigations. There was this airship I've never seen before, flying out to the west. Eastern fortresses to the west. I think they're testing some new model airship there. Ja, letzten Fortschritt ist kinda suspicious, to put it mildly. Turbo button. Rural regions just up that way. We'll be able to get in without a pass. But inspections are over. We really need to show them our pass. Makes you wonder, doesn't it? You will not catch me. I'm faster. I mean, we are level 27 and I think the max level was 50 in this one. We are making good progress here. I don't even think you need max level to finish the game, honestly. I can still hit everybody. Rubber. Still, they are not really good for trading any longer. Beep beep. No, check out the size of this base. Right there, we've already been here. It's gonna be several times as big as the Harken Gate, don't you think? Yeah, you may be right. It was apparently the primary base of the counter-offensive in the war 10 years ago. Okay, that's pretty impressive. Let's go inside and see if we can talk to whoever's in charge. What is it? Nothing, just that you're not acting like your usual timid self. Starting to remind me of that. Come on, not like I'm not nervous. After General Morgan, how bad can it be? I guess you're right. I wonder if he's still at the Arkham Gate. Right, we've already dealt with the military ones before. Now this around here would probably be where Dorothy took that photograph, isn't it? Bam, bam. There's no one here. That's strange. It's usually gatekeeper outside at least. Yeah, you would assume so. Identify yourself! Where did that come from? Probably a speaker. This is Leicester HQ of Labour's Royal Armed Forces. Places off limits to civilians. Alright, you're going to have to leave. They sound polite, but... yeah, I think they're just being extra cautious. Can you two hear me? Sorry, but we're not civilians. We're from the Brazier Guild. We're here to discuss the matter of the central lab being attacked. Could you please speak with the individual in charge? Are you actual Braziers then? Don't believe us, you can inspect your emblems. You can see them, right? Indeed, you appear to be the genuine article. However, I will get to inform you that the CEO of this base is currently away. Perhaps you can come back another day. No commanding officer. Oh, that sounds sloppy. In that case, anyone from the intelligence division will be fine. You have information that must go to either Colonel Richard or Captain Amalcia. Very well, wait there. Phew, it's like pulling teeth at these guys. Yeah, I wasn't expecting security to be this tight here. Oh. Someone's here at least. Well, that doesn't need someone. Please forgive me for making you wait. I'm Major Sid, Garrison Commander of Leyston Fortress. I'm Mr. Bright, of the Bracer Guild. And I'm Joshua Bright, also of the Bracer Guild. Right. Something wrong? Nothing. Pardon me. On to business. You mentioned the attack on Essential Labs. Very sorry, but no one from the Intelligence Division is currently here. You'd have a message. I can deliver it for you. That could be a problem. Okay, time to shake things up. Yeah. Let's go with we have a lead on the airship tied to the crime. That seems reasonable. And here we found a lead on the airship that took away the professor. What? What? Why do you look so surprised, Major? It's nothing. We've just been searching for two. So, what is this lead anyway? Take a look at this. Hand it over LoH's photograph. This is Leyston Fortress, isn't it? How did you get this picture? No. No need to get worked up. Look at the top right corner of that picture. Let's see. What the? It's obviously not the silhouette of a military patrol ship, is it? And it's a spitting image of the airship that took away the professor. Still, smug face. Reduction. Indeed, this is a grave matter. Thank you for your cooperation. I'll send a report to the Intelligence Division straight away. Hey, wait a minute, is that it? Let's put it. I mean, don't you think this is weird? Why would the suspect ship be hanging around here? It's embarrassing to admit, but I'm afraid that it's entirely my fault. We've been aggressively searching along the border. The security wasn't as tight at home as it should have been here. Yeah, sure. And if this airship fled to the north, it's possible that this whole matter may have been a plot by the Empire. Really? I'd like to know just one thing. Where exactly are all of the intelligence personnel right now? That's classified. I'm sorry, I can't say more. Strange, isn't it? Okay, now, maybe it's just me. Don't you think it so kinda smells a little funny? I know, but without any concrete evidence, pursuing this lead won't do us any good. Yeah. Huh? What the? What? Why did it stop short? What? Did that phenomenon start up again? Yeah, sure, that's... Yeah, I think that's exactly what we needed. That's the black orb, isn't it? It seems to have let you see us at our worst. Looks like the gate mechanism isn't in the best of conditions. Indeed, that's a real problem. Maybe you could get some folks from the central labs out to repair it. I bet that someone like Professor Russell could have it good as new and no time flat. Yes, I'll keep that in mind. You too, maintain post here until it's back in working order. Be sure to keep any careless civilians away. Sir, yes, sir. Understood, sir. That's it, and you can be on your way. I'll be certain to take that photograph to intelligence. Now, if you'll pardon me. We know that phenomenon already. We've seen it live and in action. You're the man. This area is off limits. Be on your way. You're not really giving me a choice, eh? Somehow I find it hard to believe a word that guy said. Especially if that little malfunction we just saw. That's what I think it is. Yes, and it was probably that same phenomenon. Which would mean the prisoner is being held prisoner inside. Shh, Estelle. This isn't the place to be discussing it. Oh, okay. Well, no, let's get back to Zeiss and see what Gideon has to say. If we have the chance, we can call for the lab chief. I just can't believe that Professor Russell is at Leyston Fortress. Are you absolutely certain? The story's photograph and the shutdown of orbital power in the gate. These two things combined make the conclusion inescapable. Well, it is certainly indicating a lot. But the Central Factory and the Royal Army have always had excellent relations. I'm expected to believe this. It's not as if the internal command structure of the military is all run by a single entity. People who attacked the factory were seen escaping. They looked like Royal Guardsmen. That, in and of itself, is a clue. Now, what that would mean... But now they're being set up, isn't it? I mean, the obvious answer is usually, you know. Yeah. Right. My thoughts exactly. This may be some form of internal conspiracy within the Royal Army. This is unpleasant to think about. But how could the professor get caught up in something like this? Sounds like you found a lead on our friendly neighborhood criminals. Warte. Good to see you back on your feet. Yeah, I just woke up a few minutes ago. It was a little weird waking up in a strange place after being put to bed like some baby. For the love of... I would have heard about you, alright? Are you sure you're okay with moving around so soon? Yeah, sleeping so damn much didn't give me any other option than to recover. Being pretty much back to normal. But I got it. You should probably rest some more. You just got the poison out of your system, and the doctor said... I just said I'm fine. I've been training for years, but not that rough on someone like me. Alright, I get it. I won't overdo it or anything, turn I'm back to normal. That cool with you? Okay. Powerful weapons. In the eyes of this little child. Damn kids. Even the mighty Agatha is no match for Dieter. Yes, it's hard to say no to someone who has kept a constant vigil over you, nursed you back to health. Shut up. And back to the point. Looks like a lot's been going on while I've been out of commission. Mind filling me in on the details? Sure. That explains that all signs pointed to Professor Russell being held captive at the Leyston Fortress. Still can't believe that Grandpa's in there. Wouldn't have thought these goons in the black clothes were army types either. Suddenly I'm feeling better than ever. What say we go and settle our debts right away? Settle our debts. Ain't it obvious? We sneak into Leyston Fortress. We'll bust the professor out, and I'll never know what hit him. Okay. Like setting everything in one big stroke. Wait, it's not that simple. Bracer Guild has a long-standing policy of non-intervention when it comes to a nation's military. Article 3 of the Guild Code. Bracers and non-involvement in military or political matters. Bracer will recognize a nation's sovereignty and may not interfere with nor arrest any person of national, military or political standing. Or to put it more simply, as long as the army is playing dumb about this, our hands are tied. Oh, you've got to be kidding. Oh wait, that doesn't make sense. I mean that we can't witness a crime, but if it's done by a soldier or a politician, we just have to pretend we didn't see anything? Essentially yes, there's however a loophole. Article 2 of the Guild Code. Bracers and their duty to the people. In the event of unjust imperilment of citizens, the Bracer's sworn duty is to bear the responsibility of the citizens' safety. We understand the significance of this. I see, the Professor's not a politician or a soldier. He's a civilian whom we are sworn to protect. So then, the rest hinges upon you, Mr. Monrock. In this case, we are obliged to oppose the Royal Army and save Professor Russell. Will you help us? Stupid question. Back to needs him. Oh hell, all of Libel needs him. Don't get him. Mr. Monrock, thank you. No need to thank me, Professor Russell, for all he's taught me. And so, we have adequate justification to proceed. Bracer Sagate, Estelle, and Joshua. You are hereby ordered to proceed to Leyston Fortress and rescue Professor Russell. It's not as above board as you may be accustomed to. That's the request of the Bracer Guild, nevertheless. Now you're talking. Acknowledged. Yeah, bring it on. By doing this, we have to figure out how we're getting in there. Leyston Fortress is pretty damn famous for being impossible to break into. That's true. It's easy to say we're going to do it. Putting it into practice is going to take some serious planning. Has to be some way of getting inside. Unfortunately, the security there is nigh unto perfect. When they're not breaking their own gates, that is. Approaching from the lake would likely be impossible, since it's monitored by a network of orbital sensors. Figured as much. A frontal assault would be tantamount to suicide. Hey, Mr. Murdoch. You know that orange airship that goes to Leyston Fortress? Yes, it's the Leibniz. Makes periodic stops to inspect the equipment at the fort to make sure it's performing properly. Say that we could sneak into the fortress on it. All of the crew members go through a thorough security check as soon as they land. Impossible to just sneak away. How about stowing away in the cargo? Oh good, each container is scanned with a biosensor of living creatures, and they check each and every one. Plus, those sensors were designed by Professor Russell himself. They can even pick up one little mouse and a huge mess of stuff. Well then. Oh, what is it, sweetie? Yeah, don't you remember? Grandpa's invention from when I was showing you around. Let me think. Aha! When we were helping with the experiments on a new type of weapon, right? Yeah, right? Produces a force field that can disrupt the biosensors. We've already tested that it works, so everything will be fine. Really? I had no idea the professor had even made anything like this. Where is this device then? I guess it must be right where he left it, in his laboratory. We have no time to lose. Hurry and retrieve this device. In the meantime, I will gather and collate whatever data I can on Leiston Fortress. Got it, thanks. I'll leave the arrangement of a delivery at the Leibniz to you, Mr. Murdoch. Alright, I'll talk to Gustav. Just come to the airfield when you're ready. Nice. Ooh, look at that, we have a full team now. Time to change our tactics. We don't even need to change our tactics because, well, everything is still nice and set up. That I find rather neat. Yeah, everything is still set up okay-ish, I suppose. Don't really feel the need to change much. Ah, fucking grey locket. I really wish this was New Game +++, then I would have fun for everyone. Alas, it is not. Well, and with this we have ended up at the new part. And as you can see, everybody has moved around, which means new dialogue. That means we'll have to talk to people nice and quietly again. But that will be the next time. Well, I have a whole team again. Well, we did another one. I think the Leiston Fortress sneak in break-in is, I think, relatively speaking, the end of the arc here. If memory serves, so there's not really that much left, honestly. So we will probably finish this in time, reasonably speaking. Yeah, actually, yeah, I'm sure the final chapter is basically upon us. After this. But a few more times around the right, and then we get over. Pretty much. Ah, shit, misclicked. But yeah, honestly, I think probably one more episode we need for Zeiss. Probably would have to plan a bit more time though to make this, because, well, there's a lot of dialogue still left. And then we'll go to, well, the capital city of good old Liberl. Gonna be fun. But yes, as I said, I'm kinda a bit stretched thin, maybe, and I do suffer a bit for it. So, as you can imagine, I will try to keep well, things I can keep short. Sadly, that includes streaming, which is... I have no idea how much that is actually working. I would like to actually, you know, get a bit more playtime, because that would probably do also quite well for my mental health, but physical health is more important at the moment, and as far as that is concerned, sleeping and staying in bed is probably the better option for the moment. Well, gonna be better times in the near future again. And as I said, once things have calmed down and I have some justifiable reason to assume that the other side will not pursue this matter, or rather these two particular matters any further, I might be willing to do a bit of a, you know, nice little video. Since it's somewhat related to gaming in one way too, it's rather interesting of a little subject. Well, but with this, I shall have to bid you adieu for this evening. Have a good one and all of that, and well, let's see who we can easily name on this fine day. We can, on the left side, find the little Papagag, drop him by, because, well, the usual. If he drops by, it is always about, well, I know, basically. It is basically his little obsession. And I mean, you know, good for him to have one. To each their own, as they say. As for the right side, I see none, and so we shall once again think most kindly of the lurking kind. They too shall feel appreciated. They shall pat themselves on the shoulder for a job well done indeed. And yeah, I think with that we can end it most profoundly. Do feel free to drop by again. I shall be back tomorrow, and tomorrow shall be then the Anno stream. I'm trying to test actually Anno a bit before the stream actually starts and see if it's actually still working as it is supposed to, because, you know, it has been a bit finicky lately, but such matters aside, we'll just assume it works, and then we'll see. Just this week and next week. That final examination is over. That will be one hell of a weight lifted off my bloody shoulders. It also means that next weekend I actually will not have that much extra time for streaming, sadly, because I will be busy studying, actually, learning, because, well, I kinda need to, well, not ace it, but, you know, do a good job there. Because that is the requirement to further training in this particular field, sadly enough. So while it doesn't necessarily, basically you don't need to have the best potential marks, you don't even need to be close. Basically it would be enough to have a good, mediocre end result, but since the number of places for higher training in this field are limited, you know, usually people that A come first, or get served first, and B, the ones with the better grades, tend to get treated a bit favorably in the chain. So if I, you know, want to ensure my planning goes further, then I should probably do a pretty good job here. Well, with that in mind, well, have a good one once again, and bye bye.